Big Lots, accused of running background checks on applicants and employees without their knowledge or consent. Chipotle, accused of burying their disclosure and authorizations in bulky applications. Whole Foods settles after being accused of unlawfully including a release of liability in their disclosure forms. These are just 3 of the latest class action lawsuits accusing huge employers of violating the Fair Credit Reporting Act.
One of the reasons for the groundswell, I believe, is simply because there is a lot of money to be made. There was one that settled, for example, for $1.75 million. And each of the members of the class is going to get a check for $38. And the attorney is going to get like over $500,000. So it certainly appears to be a very lucrative business.
We have a very aggressive plaintiffs bar. We see a lot of litigation. Some of it is well thought out, some of it is not.
The thing these 3 cases have in common is that they all revolve around issues with the employer's disclosure and authorization forms. The rules, as the forms go, are pretty straightforward. Under the FCRA, an employer must clearly disclose to an applicant or employee that a background check is going to be performed. Then they must obtain written permission from the individual to conduct that background check.
Anything that is not a very specific, short, pithy disclosure and an authorization just for a background check could be challenged.
Some of the mistakes employers are making are pretty benign, like including a link to their company benefits. Others have been more egregious, like including a waiver of liability. Whatever it is, if the disclosure includes anything extra, your company could become a target. This relatively new environment is leading many companies to take a long, hard look at their documents.
For years, many companies had a one-size disclosure form that had a disclosure at the top and an authorization at the bottom. And frankly, we believe that that's absolutely legal. However, right now, companies are wise to mitigate their risks and consider separating those documents.
All 3 of the experts we spoke with say it is clear that the plaintiff's bar is seeking these cases out. They're described as cookie cutter. Almost all the class action cases point out the same deficiencies. Right now, the main targets are the huge employers, but once those big fish are caught, the attention will undoubtedly drop down to the next tier.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel. Terrible expression, but it's the lowest hanging fruit.
And if your company turns out to be that low-hanging fruit, it's going to cost you.
Because you just have to understand what your requirements are. Otherwise, you're going to get litigation.
As everyone knows, once you're sued, you lose. And you have to pay legal fees to go ahead and defend that.
And those fees can add up quickly. Your best bet, review everything with your legal counsel so you're as protected as possible. For the Screening News Network, I'm Jennifer Gladstone.